Hi there. What if I told you that managing your entire sales pipeline could feel less like juggling flaming swords and more like having a conversation with your most trusted advisor? That's exactly what we've built with Workato Genie. Look, I get it. Sales managers today are drowning. You're switching between Salesforce, your email, Slack, spreadsheets, analytics dashboards. It's exhausting. And here's the thing. While you're tab surfing, opportunities are slipping through the cracks. Leads are going cold. Your best reps need guidance now, not after you finish your data archaeology expedition. Imagine this. You walk into the office Monday morning with your coffee, and instead of opening 12 different tools, you just talk. Hey Genie, which leads are cold? Done. Right there. Show me my top leads that are at least warm, with annual revenue over 1 million. Already handled. This isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy. This is happening right now with Workato Genie, and it's absolutely transforming how sales teams operate. First, create a new project in Workato. Organizing Genies and their associated skills into dedicated projects maintains clean governance and makes it easier for your team to manage and scale AI-powered workflows. Select Create a new Genie and give it a suitable description. Click Edit. Here we can see our Genie dashboard. This is your control center where you configure how your AI assistant behaves, what skills it has access to, and how it interacts with your systems and data sources. The job description is where you define your Genie's purpose and personality. Think of it as the instructions that guide how your AI assistant responds to users. This is where you tell the Genie what role it plays, what tone to use, and what its core responsibilities are, ensuring it behaves consistently and appropriately for your use case. As you can see, it has been auto-generated for us based on what we told Workato we'd like the Genie to help us with. We'll come back to this in a moment. Now click on Workato Go as a platform we'd like to chat with this Genie on. This is Workato's native interface for interacting with your AI agents. Today, we're focused on skills. Let's add a new skill called Search for Leads and save it in our new project folder. We want this recipe to be triggered when the user asks to search for a lead in any context. Essentially, whenever the user wants information from Salesforce, the skill runs automatically. We can add filters to our search as inputs to the Genie. This helps ensure that we only extract data from the Genie that we really need. Otherwise, we'd return all the leads, which could quickly hit our API call limits and slow down response times. Making these optional fields means the Genie can search broadly when needed or apply specific filters based on the user's request. Now let's talk about schema hints. These are instructions we add to the job description that teach the Genie how our data is actually structured in Salesforce. Think of it this way. The job description defines your Genie's personality and behavior, but schema hints are the data dictionary that ensures it queries your systems correctly. For example, when a user casually says, "Show me tech companies," they don't know that Salesforce stores this as technology with a capital T, not tech or IT. By adding schema hints for fields like industry, lead rating, and lead source directly into the job description, we're giving the Genie a translation layer so it can map conversational language into exact Salesforce pick list values. We're adding these at the global level in the job description because these fields work the same way across our skills. If we had recipe-specific fields that needed different mappings, we could add schema hints directly to individual input fields instead. But for common fields like these, defining them once globally saves time and assures consistency. This is especially important because as we add more skills to extract different Salesforce objects, whether it's accounts, opportunities, or contacts, these same industry, rating, and source fields appear across all of them. By defining the schema hints globally, we ensure every skill automatically understands how to interpret these values without having to re-enter the same instructions multiple times. Now, if we want to override the global schema hint, we could define one at the local recipe level for something more niche. For instance, if your lead object uses a different industry classification than opportunities and contacts, say enterprise software instead of just technology, you'd add a local schema hint to that specific recipe to override the global definition for that one use case. An example of this might be, this input also contains a pick list value called enterprise software. Great. Then we can add a response schema. This is what gets returned back to the Genie at the end, so it can understand and communicate the results to the user. Next, add a Salesforce search records action and connect to your Salesforce account. We are looking for leads in this example. Now, we can define the fields we want to retrieve, such as first name, last name, email, mobile phone, and more. One important note, we have a limit of 150 records per search, which helps maintain performance and prevents the Genie from being overwhelmed with data. This limit can, of course, be adjusted in the recipe settings based on your specific use case, though for most queries, 150 records provides a good balance between comprehensive results and response speed. Then, search for and add the fields we want to use as optional filters from before, and drag the relevant data fields we've created into the right boxes. Since these are optional, they are only enacted when necessary based on the user's query. Finally, in the return response to Genie action, switch to formula mode and select the leads collection. We have to switch to formula mode because we're returning a list of records. If we just selected individual data fields in text format, we would only get the last iteration instead of the complete dataset. Now we can run this recipe. Head back into your Genie and test it with a prompt like, show me all our Salesforce leads in the automotive industry, where annual revenue is over 30 million. Notice at first an error is thrown. The Genie is trying to find an annual revenue input field to pass directly to Salesforce, which of course doesn't exist in our recipe since we only defined industry, lead source, and lead rating as our optional filters. The Genie is attempting to send the revenue filter as a parameter to the Salesforce search, but we actually want it to handle that filtering after the data is extracted, not before. Instead, we can add this instruction to the global job description. When the search for lead skill is enacted, and the user asks the Genie for multiple filters, but one of the filters doesn't match any of the preset inputs, then apply the filter yourself logically, such as annual revenue, based on the lead's information that you receive. This teaches the Genie to use a two-tiered filtering approach. Hard filters like industry get passed to Salesforce directly, while soft filters like revenue thresholds get applied by the AI after retrieving the full dataset. Now go back to the testing interface, click Test, then paste the query from before. Show me all our Salesforce leads in the automotive industry, where annual revenue is over 30 million. Run it again and watch how it works perfectly. The Genie pulls all automotive leads from Salesforce, then intelligently filters to show only those with revenue over 30 million. Notice how this works. The automotive industry acts as a hard filter in our Salesforce search. Only automotive leads are extracted from Salesforce and sent to the Genie. However, the annual revenue over 30 million is a softer filter that happens after extraction. All automotive leads are pulled from Salesforce, then the Genie intelligently filters and displays only those meeting the revenue threshold. This two-tiered filtering approach balances efficiency with flexibility. Great. It returns all the necessary leads, passing the complete dataset to Genie first, then using natural language to specify what you want to extract means users with minimal coding knowledge can access and filter data conversationally without needing to write queries or understand database syntax. And that's it. You've just built an intelligent Genie that can conversationally search and retrieve Salesforce data. The beauty of this approach is that your AI assistant has direct, secure access to your CRM without exposing sensitive data externally. You can now ask natural language questions and get instant answers from your live Salesforce instance. From here, you could add more skills: updating lead statuses, creating tasks, enriching records, turning your Genie into a complete sales operations assistant. The possibilities are endless when you combine conversational AI with enterprise automation. Thank you for following along.